We got time. It looks like you just put like chocolate whipped cream on your head.
I know. It's just a brown silk scrunchie that's like giant. Because I like it because it makes it look like my bun is bigger than it actually is.
Always gotta have a bigger bun.
That's what I'm saying. Big buns.
Big buns save lives. Wait, no, thick thighs save lives. Is that what they say? I don't know.
That's what they say. That's what
That's
the
what
children say.
I mean. Is it?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are mediocre content. And it's way too close for Christmas for my comfort at this point.
It's Christmas time.
No! Stop that right now.
The city. I don't know what that song is.
Ring-a-ling.
Ring-a-ling.
Hear them ring.
Soon it will be
You stop that.
Christmas Day.
Oh my goodness. Only for some of us. I mean, some people don't celebrate Christmas, so they're like, whatever.
That's true.
But at the same time,
You're right.
It's too close for me.
I don't know any Hanukkah songs, though. I'm sorry.
I do not know any Hanukkah songs. I also do not celebrate Hanukkah, though. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. We know the dreidel song.
Oh, that's true.
Oh
We
my
do know the
God.
dreidel
A
song.
singular Hanukkah song.
And there's also the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song
Excuse
from
me?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh my goodness.
It's really it's good. It's funny, but
Yeah, okay. I don't think
I don't
I'd
know if
watch
that counts.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that counts either.
I'll send it to you. It's good. I think you'll like it.
I feel like that's just what I've been missing in my life.
It
you know?
is. A quality Hanukkah song.
A quality Hanukkah song. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I find it really hard to get into holiday music.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair.
yeah, I feel like I'm feeling it this year because every time I hear it in the stores, it does actually put me in a very good mood, which is the
Good.
first time in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. We all
I try to limit my holiday music until like from December 1st to December 25th. So that way it doesn't get too
It's a lot.
out of control because they play it, like you said, everywhere.
Everywhere.
I also one of my coworkers told me, so if you're familiar with Lord of the Rings, you know that the guy who plays Sauron in Lord of the Rings, we can all hear in our head like what his voice sounds like. Apparently, in the past couple of years, he has decided that he wants to make a heavy metal Christmas album.
Okay.
And
it's a big decision.
And I found it on Spotify, and it's actually just 2 songs.
Oh.
It is Little Drummer Boy.
Oh boy.
And Noah, like the first Noel. And then there's a second album with Jingle Hell. And then the other song is My Way by Frank Sinatra, which I don't believe is a Christmas song.
Does not occur to me that one. Why did they not do Carol of the Bells?
I don't know.
That's like the perfect one.
I agree. So if you're interested in that, it is hilarious and so fun. And he has that like big booming voice.
Right.
So
of
it's
course.
like it's perfect. It's so funny.
Wow.
It cracked me up.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. I mean, I'm down for the really epic Carol of the Bells situation because I feel like that's a really aggressive song as it is.
Right.
So I'm very surprised that one wasn't chosen.
I know. Yeah. So anyway,
disappointing.
We're not sponsored by him in any way, but I just thought that would be super fun.
Yeah. We're not sponsored by anything other than ourselves. So, you know.
And we're sponsored by ourselves and our husbands.
Oh, true.
Who do the ads for us. And that's it.
That's their payment towards the system. And you know what? Right. We're very grateful because they do a great job. And it's very funny, in my opinion, to hear them record together.
I agree. They do a great job.
Yeah. And it's for free.
Free.
Anyway, um, I guess we should get started.
Yeah, I should do the
Um,
disclaimer.
okay,
Okay,
go for it.
here we go. Um, we don't know what we're talking about.
That's very blunt.
and
We know nothing.
and you shouldn't listen to us unless you want to have a nice little fun time.
Mm, hmm.
And if you want to try and learn something, like we are trying to learn things through
Very
our
hard.
Google searches because we are ladies that Google,
Indeed.
um, then that's great. Please follow along. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
All right, and we'll see you guys next week. Just kidding. We're gonna go to good news, and Blair is also the good news.
I am. Okay, so I thought this story was delightful, and I'm gonna
I
share it with
see
everyone.
the word cat, and I'm automatically into it.
So good. Okay, so with December being the most popular month for engagements and gift giving,
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Engagements?
In January, I feel like the New Year's.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. For like gifts. It's like a gift. Okay. Gift of love. Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess.
A cat loving company is holding a contest to see which happy couple can come up with the most inventive and heartwarming way to include their cat in a marriage proposal.
Oh my God.
To the winner gets the cost of an engagement ring up to $4,750. And Felix Cat Insurance has several ideas to get the prospective proposers thinking. They suggest having your kitty walk into the room toting a ring on its collar or some variation of that theme.
Cute.
Starting today, and I think this came out like a week ago. Anyone planning to propose this December can privately share their engagement plans at felixperfectproposal.com, including how their kitty will be involved in the memorable milestone moment.
Cute.
The cat insurance brand will then select one lucky winner and their furry friend to receive the cost of an engagement ring with a celebratory package of cat treats, a plush champagne toy, and festive feline accessories, should the cat be included.
That's adorable.
Our felines are family members, and just like your closest friends and family, we want to include them in celebrating meaningful moments like this, said Jamie Maxfield, marketing director and brand expert at Felix Cat Insurance. Planning for the future can also bring challenges, which is why we're spreading holiday cheer by easing the expense of this life milestone as you, your partner, and your furry friend embark on your new life together. Not only is Felix here to ease the expense of this core life event, we can also be there to every step forward of the way every step of the way afterwards.
You got it.
The contest is not available in Washington. I'm assuming Washington, D.C., but maybe Washington State or Puerto Rico. And the drawing will take place on December 22nd.
That's so cute. I love that.
I thought so. I also like how they're making it about the cat appropriately,
right?
By not giving you the cost of the engagement ring, but also giving the cat something as well.
Yes, that's very important. You got to include them. And what a fun way. You know what? If I wasn't already married, I might do that.
Right. Well, and we didn't have our cat. Well, yeah, we did. We had our cats before we got married. So yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Both of us.
We got him like 4 months before we got married.
Or
before we got engaged. Sorry.
I made myself sad because I realized, it's so dumb. But I was like, yep, Cougar's gonna be 13, Puma's gonna be 9, Leeks is gonna be 4.
Oh my God. I'm struggling with the fact that my cats are 3.
Yeah, it's still rough. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, we're going to move right along from the sadness of that last statement.
That's right.
So, whether or not you know it, today we're talking about angels. Because,
Jesus in your life.
Jesus Christ.
Today we're going to be talking about angels. And because the spirit of the season in a way. You have songs like the title that I put in, and lots of imagery. And even if you don't think that they attribute to the season, there's a lot of religions that incorporate them. So this is, we haven't talked about it yet.
You're so right. We have not.
Um, Obviously, there's different interpretations. We've got, moving statues and TV shows that are horrifying of angels. We have flying eyeball wings in the sky. Have you not heard of this?
No.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a roller coaster.
Oh, good.
Thrilling, in fact. I would also like to say, technically speaking, the real religion expert is Blair, despite the fact she clearly has not heard about the flying eyeballs. And now I'm a little worried that I said that.
First of all, religion expert in the fact that I minored in religion in college. Is
huge
not,
expert.
It's not.
If you have any questions, send them directly to Blair.
No.
She knows a singular Hanukkah song and could totally help you out. It's gonna be great. But I think a great place to start, like with anything, is a definition, shall we?
Okay. As we shall.
As we shall. So, according to the Oxford Dictionary, the word angel comes from the Old English ingle, ultimately via ecclesiastical Latin, from Greek angelos, which means messenger. It is superseded in Middle English by forms from Old French, angele. In Hebrew, the term angel means the same thing, and moreover, the word angel and the word spirit are sometimes interchangeable.
I love that SAT word you just used, ecclesiastical.
Isn't it great?
It's beautiful.
It's a huge word.
I love it.
And if you're a biblical person, Ecclesiastes is obviously from ecclesiastical. Anyway, but one has to be very careful, for there are a few times when the term angel has nothing to do with the spiritual being at all, and can be very dependent on the context. Could be angel, could be human messenger, particularly in the Bible. So the book of Malachi, for example, 1:1 states that this is the message that the Lord gave to Israel through the prophet Malachi. And while it's obvious that an angel can be human or a heavenly being, the term itself can kind of be generic. So just be mindful. Sometimes it has to do with context. Context clues.
That.
Yeah. So basically, angel equals messenger. They've been with us for a very long time. Angels and angelic type beings have been recognized by humans since the dawn of civilization. We can find it all over literature, visuals, paintings, those kinds of things. And the archetype of communication between mortals and the divine, angels or angelic type forms, exist in almost every religion and culture in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
They appear as harbingers of death, or they can announce joyful and profound events. They can also be associated with catastrophic destruction, protection of children as they sleep, tons of different potential interpretations, and maybe all simultaneously at the same time. Just to give you a different image other than the flying eyeballs, they've also appeared as wheels of fire, which is super cool. Sometimes
Wheel of fire.
I would like to buy a vowel.
A.
Oh my God.
A for angel.
It's gonna cost you. They can also be very human-like beings, full-on monsters. Like, I get, it's a wide range that we're talking about here.
I like that.
Yeah. As we discussed, they have, of course, been portrayed in ancient art, movies, songs, protectors, destroyers, beautiful, wonderful, whatever they are, there are many of them. Archaeologists have unearthed altars dedicated to winged guardian angels in Iraq, in what was once Sumeria, dating from 3000 BC. Old stories go back even further, and the idea of the existence of unearthly beings, shining beings, predates the concept of a monotheistic god, which is the biblical one, sort of. Don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah.
The ancient Zoroastrian faith had guardian angels called Fravashi and mentioned a great battle. between angels, good and evil. Yeah. Not only do the Islam, Jewish, and Christian faith feature angels, but mention the archangels, specifically Michael and Gabriel, or Jibril, if it's spelled Gabriel in English, Gabriel. The Jibril is Jibril, by name. And those are ones that you will see in the Bible a lot. Angels come in all temperaments and types, like we've discussed, and all different types of features are described depending on which one that they are categorized as. And we'll talk about a little bit of those categories later. They are told to have assisted in creation and destroyed things such as Lucifer, the morning star is what his name means, said to be God's favorite, fell out of favor and became, quote, the prince of darkness as he became jealous of God. We'll talk about that later as well.
Cool.
And it was an angel who supposedly escorted Adam and Eve out of Eden after their little fruit incident. And an angel visited Mary to announce the coming of Jesus.
That, small thing that everyone believes to be a problem now.
It's
for women.
Chill. It's
casual.
Fine.
This is a small infraction involving fruit. It's no big deal.
Okay. I get it. It's tough out there. And then, of course, the angel Jibril with a J dictated the Quran to Muhammad. So angels are everywhere. They prophesize a lot. They bring a lot of messages. Sometimes they also say, get the heck out of my garden. It happens, okay?
It does.
They're very busy beings. While it may be impossible to completely define the existence of angels or the time in history in which, they kind of became as they are, as we think about them today, it's just kind of something that has become integrated in pretty much every culture for a very long time.
Yes.
Before 200 BC, the Hebrew concept of God was of a dualistic nature. In general, modern Western religion obviously views God as a benevolent deity equated with love and mercy, but in Isaiah 45:7, God said, I make peace and create evil, displaying a role as both creator and destroyer, much like the Hindu Shiva or Aztec Quetzalcoatl, which we've actually talked about in a stream because we talked about dragons at the time, and it's like this serpent bird dragon figure. Feel free. That is on our YouTube. We do have a YouTube with all of our VODs from those streams. So if you want to talk about it or learn about him, he is out there.
Shameless self-plug.
Oh, absolutely. I'll just also plug the other platform we stream on, which is Twitch, so you can find us there too if you want to talk to us live. Zoroaster, which was a Persian prophet, separated good and evil as oppositional forces 3,500 years ago. And around that 200 BC, with the Hebrews, they did change from dualistic to, I guess, monolithic. There's a lot of changes, but angels occurred during the Judaic tradition, which was 450 BC, and that was after the Hebrews left Babylon and then brought the belief of angels with them in general.
Gotcha.
That's what they say. That's our best guess. Yeah, it's our best guess. In ancient times, angelic type beings appeared in various forms. Isis, the winged deity in Egypt, was obvious angel qualities, while Horus, the winged disc, which is just sad. One was this beautiful winged deity and the other one was a disc, resembles a member of an angelic host referred to as thrones or wheels of fire, which is where that concept, I think they're assuming, kind of originated from.
Interesting.
The Greek Hermes and Roman Mercury sported wings as well, and were also known as messengers of the gods. So if you know Greek mythology, that's a great way to equate it to what we know now. And of course, the Greek word angelo means messenger.
If you've seen the movie Hercules, you know Hermes as the guy with like the wings, and then also he has little wings on his shoes, which is really cute.
It makes him go faster.
It does, yeah.
Like light up shoes today.
Yeah.
The angelic suffix el means the shining one in Sumerian. Babylon used a similar suffix ellu, as does Old Welsh, to mean shining being, and in English and Anglo-Saxon, elf or elf refers to a shining or radiant being, which is why we use the term elf for lots of fantasy stuff as well. And then, of course, like we talked about, there's Michael, Gabriel, or Jabril, depending on which iteration you choose, Raphael, Uriel, and Rimiel, and other named archangels, all of multicultural shining one suffix, as does their word angel in general. So, the next thing I kind of want to touch on briefly is something called the Book of Enoch, which also has kind of like monster-ish kind of imagery almost, apparently. So according to the Book of Enoch, which is the ancient Hebrew work that is not accepted into biblical canon by other religions,
Yes.
angels.
Fun fact, really quick.
Go for it. Expert in the
there
house.
There is a lot of canon that
Yes.
has been omitted from the Bible or any other like major religious text that was written, and it's so fun to like go and see what could have been in the book but was not in the book. It's the best. It's like deleted scenes from a movie, but it's so good. And there's like anyway. That's cool. That's all I wanted to say. It's super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure figuring out how they somewhat connect and like where in the timeline that they were, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, and I think in college we read a excerpt of what would have been in the Bible, and it was written all about this woman who was like super powerful, and she had a huge influence on like what was happening, but they took that particular one out. I think that I don't know. I don't want to say it because I'm not 100%
No, it's fair.
sure.
Yeah.
But it was like super fun and cool to read, and obviously the men didn't want that to be in there. So like, that's a whole other drama. But anyway, continue, Kirsten. Go ahead.
Sure. So basically, in the Book of Enoch, angels were called Grigori, or the Watchers, which is obviously very different from the messengers, and introduced agriculture to humanity. In the book itself, this is the story that's told about them. And they were considered tall, radiant beings that also instructed humans in the making of metal for weapons. But some of the Grigori overstepped the boundaries of friendship with mankind. Yeah.
It's called the Gospel of Mary.
There you go. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
And so they overstepped those boundaries and ended up getting with a couple of human women, the daughters of Eve, of course, in that context, and monsters that were spawned of these, quote, unholy unions induced the wrath of God, who would then send the flood, which we've talked about in the Bible, which is Noah's Ark story, things like that, to destroy the world. And some UFO buffs believe that Grigori were actually extraterrestrial visitors who came to encourage Earth and its building of civilization. So I just wanted to include that because I thought it was an interesting blend of like modern UFO theory, a little bit of history, a little bit of differences from messenger to watcher, because the terminology is very different and also kind of spooky, if I had to say.
It is spooky. I agree.
So I just kind of thought it was interesting and worth including there. So now we're going to talk about the choirs of angels, because like I said, there are different kind of categories that are included here. The choir of angels are said to exist in a sphere of power that kind of encircle God. They are at his disposal for use. In the late 4th century AD, the church divided these groups into specific categories, and we'll kind of go into depth in the second half, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste. They are separated into 9 choirs of hosts that are groups of triads. So the first group, it's very complex. My brain kind of exploded here. Anyway, so the first group is the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. The second group is dominions, virtues, and powers. And then the final group is principalities, archangels, and then angels. So they are, angels are separate considerably in terms of type from the other types. Yeah.
Yeah.
So European artists began to depict angels with wings in the 4th century AD, and in the 12th and 13th centuries, angels were, of course, very wildly popular. St. Francis of Assisi was visited by an angel, supposedly, specifically a seraphim with fiery wings, and between those wings appeared the form of a crucified man. Horrifying. Saint Teresa of Avila, the visionary nun, saw a cherubim beautiful in a fire who pierced her heart with a golden spear, filling her with the sweetness and exquisite pain of the intensity of God's love.
That gives Old Testament behavior.
Indeed it does.
So, yep. Unsure.
In August 1914, so I would say somewhat recently, so this is during World War I.
I mean, in terms of the Bible, it's definitely recently.
Much more recent.
Yeah.
British and French troops fell into retreat from the Germans during this time, and wounded soldiers reported angels in the field of battle. French soldiers thought they saw Michael, the archangel, while the British claimed they saw St. George, because of course they couldn't agree on it. But anyway, Michael and St. George are thought by some to be one and the same, so...
interesting.
They're like, no, it's this one, but realistically... synonymous.
Yeah, sure.
Regardless, the men saw a tall, blonde man, specifically in golden armor with an air of calm serenity, which was probably nice considering they were in war. In later reports, the Germans claimed they were unable to advance and that their horses turned and ran. The angel became known as the Angel of Mons after the area in which the appearance took place.
It gives Prince Charming a little
Absolutely. Carry me away.
Yeah.
I'm ready,
Not
Michael.
to diminish, like World War I because it was
no, awful.
A very terrible war.
For sure.
But like this particular account is giving Prince Charming.
Yes. Come to saddle them away to the heavens.
Yeah, exactly.
Any hoodle. So all of that is angels in ancient times, kind of giving you as much of a well-rounded idea as I possibly can before we kind of talk about angels today, as well as those specific types, what they do, what their purpose is, and we'll get into that in the second half.
Yay.
Hey man, did you hear Mediocre Content Podcast has more social platforms now?
Whoa, no way. What do they need those for? I thought they barely had an email.
Not sure, but they gotta be Delulu if they think that many people are trying to find them.
Exactly. Well, I guess we should play into their delusion then. Here are the ways you can contact the NCP host, if you really want to.
Connect with NCP on Gmail, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you want to listen to podcasts.
Or you can find all of their contacts by visiting Linktree/Mediocre Content Podcast.
Now, good luck in the second half of the pod. You'll need it.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the break. We're going to continue with angels. We're talking about modern-ish day angels, how they're interpreted, and also about the different types that we briefly touched on before, so you can get an idea of what they might look like and what they do. So, here we go. Today's angels. As you're probably aware, it's very prevalent in music, books, TV, movie. It's in media pretty much everywhere. We also use them in our everyday things. Like if you go to a cemetery, guaranteed you're going to see at least one angel statue somewhere.
Especially this time of year, not necessarily the cemetery thing, that's year round, but like this time of year in the December months, we're definitely, there's more religious stuff happening. There's more like decorations, obviously, all that stuff.
Yeah. So you're going to see them everywhere. Obviously, the concept of angels is not restricted to religion, but of course, as Blair indicated, it's a very strong presence. And so, here are some different takes on angels in today's culture. So, ufologists, we're starting strong, compared extraterrestrial visitors to angels, and many believe that they are synonymous with each other. They see spaceships and ancient depictions of spaceships as similar to thrones, wheels of fire, which is what those are, radiant humanoid extraterrestrials coming to Earth to impart messages from beyond, and often warning humanity of potential errors of their ways. Movies such as The Day the Earth Stood Still do introduce an angelic extraterrestrial Clado who attempts to bring peace to Earth by frightening humanity, which I think is a great way to do that, with an awesome display of power personified by the great glowing robot Gort, which is a great name. So all in all,
that is a great name.
Gort's got something going. So yeah, ufologists do believe that they exist, but not in the way that we think that they do religiously. You can also find these in comic books. Marvel is a great example, particularly in their X-Men series, in a character named Archangel, which is it is exactly what you think it is. And if you know something about Marvel comic books, you probably know Archangel. I do not personally, and there's not a lot of information I brought to it, but I did just mention it for all of those who are interested in Marvel.
I'm waiting for the miniseries to come out on Disney Plus. I don't think that it exists yet, but I'm sure it will at some point.
Absolutely. Of course, at Christmas, you're going to see it as well. So there's It's a Wonderful Life, specifically, is where this reference comes from. And it says, at Christmas, we all root for Clarence to succeed in saving George Bailey from despair in the film It's a Wonderful Life so that he can earn his wings. And so there's a lot of imagery.
I've never actually seen that movie before.
Me either, honestly. Okay. Yeah.
It's on our list of like, we have this poster in our living room of like the top like 100 movies that you need to see according to the IMDb database. And shout out to Philip and Nicole for giving it to us last Christmas.
So cute.
It's a Wonderful Life is on there, so I guess it's a good movie.
I mean, apparently
we're going to find out eventually. Yeah. So anyway,
we also can name our children Angel, or we're being referred to as our beloved angels. Though I like the term hellions personally. Nurses and
crotch goblins.
Crotch goblins. Also a good rendition of what they might be called. But nurses and EMTs can also be considered angels of mercy. So there's your moniker Blair. And overall, according to multiple surveys, 55% of just Americans believe not just in angels, but that they are directly influenced by them in their personal lives. So, you know, even today, very prevalent concept. And I don't think you notice it as much until things like this, where you're just like, oh, it really is everywhere. And so now, just because of your mind bias, you will see them everywhere after this pod. So enjoy that.
I remember at one point in time seeing a lot of memes where it's like, my guardian angel hates me because I'm so wild or whatever.
Yeah, my guardian angel's always at peace because I do nothing and I sit at my house and there's not a lot going on.
She probably was given a second person because you're so
boring. That's right. Yes, exactly. She's like, I feel like I can take on more than this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're now going to talk about the different types, and some of them you might be like, I know what that is. And then the other ones you're like, that's horrifying. And that's okay because that's just life. So the first type of angel we're going to talk about is called the seraphim, which means the fiery ones. It is the plural of the word seraph, and these angels are mentioned in the Bible as having faces, hands, and feet, and each seraph has 6 wings, 4 of which they use to cover themselves in the presence of God as a sign of humility, and the other 2 they use to physically fly with. Allegedly, they cry out, "Holy, holy, holy," and appear to worship God continuously, and they are often the ones that are depicted in religious art and are considered the closest angels to God. They encircle his throne, emitting an intense fiery light that represents his love, and seraphim are considered fiery serpents, and not even the other divine beings are allowed to look at them, which is pretty big. You're pretty high up on the food chain.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Allegedly, there's only 4 of them, and each has 4 faces also, which is horrifying. And when they come to Earth, they leave their serpent appearance behind, preferring tall, thin, clean-cut human embodiments.
So you're saying they're chilling up in heaven?
Yes.
As snakes.
Snake boys, yes.
So this is giving like
Dragon?
Salazar Slytherin vibe.
Oh, I was thinking dragon.
I mean, could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Fire, lots of wings.
Yeah, no, that's true.
The 4 faces is what trips me up. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. That's like
a lot of faces.
Personality disorder.
Like, do they argue? Are they all talking at once? Because that's loud.
That is loud.
What's 4 times 4? 16?
Mm-hmm.
That's all holy, holy, holy at God's face, 24/7, 365. Like, I know he doesn't count time like that, but still.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm confused. God, I need some explanation.
I'd be overwhelmed.
I know.
Can you just shut your mouths,
but maybe
for one moment?
Maybe that's why he's God.
Maybe.
Like,
he can tolerate
he can
it.
handle that kind of overstimulation.
And this is why I am not a deity.
That's it.
This is the only reason.
Right.
So then we have the cherubim, plural of cherub, of course, and this was one that you might have heard of before. These angels are the keepers of celestial records and hold the knowledge of God. They are also sent to Earth with tasks such as expelling humankind from the Garden of Eden, aka Eve and Adam in their fruit situation. And ancient art depicts cherubim as sphinx-like winged creatures with human faces, not the cute little, like, Valentine babies with wings and things like that. They're not those cutesy characters, in fact.
I like the cute little babies with wings.
But this made me think of, and tell me if you agree, the fact that they are considered sphinx-like, with human faces, made me think of ancient Egypt and the statues that they have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. No, that's correct.
Very interesting.
Indeed. Also, it would be cute if they were like little kittens.
Oh my God. Adorable. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So with these guys, Ophaniel, Ricbiel, and Sophiel are all the names of cherubim that exist, allegedly. And apparently there was a 4th, and they think that Lucifer, aka Satan, was one of them, and was, of course, a fallen cherubim, but that he was part of that little quartet before all of that drama. So.
That would also explain like the typical depiction of Satan with like the
tail,
like, I don't know, the tail and the horns.
Yes. Yeah, sphinx-like. So maybe instead of horns, they were ears. Who knows?
Possible.
Yep. Thrones, and this is not the one in which you sit on, but Throne's appearance is perhaps the most bizarre of this first grouping, because remember, they're in thirds. So you've got like the first 3, a second 3, and a third 3. These are the ones that I mentioned earlier, where they are the great glowing wheels covered with eyes. So if you've never seen this depiction, this is something that you might want to look up with, be gentle with yourself. Yeah, it's been flowing around now. It's becoming more popular to see this imagery, I think, than it has been in the past. I've seen it more prevalently depicted in this way. But the thrones serve gods. They serve as God's chariot because they're wheels, and dispense his judgment in order to carry out his desires for us. So a movement, which again makes sense because they're giant wheels. I don't know why they have eyes. I feel like if your wheels, that might be a problem if you're in movement, but if they're in the air, maybe not a big deal. I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're now in the second grouping. So this is dominions or denominations, which is another word that we use to describe multiple types of even Christian faith denominations.
Yes. That's correct.
So the angels in this group can exist in a state of transition between celestial and human worlds, and they are considered heavenly governors, attempting to strike a balance between matter of spirit, good and bad. It's kind of like your middle management, in other words, which is,
fair.
fine. Yeah. So they receive orders from the seraphim and the cherubim, and then they just kind of dish out these jobs as, quote, worker bee angels of the lower orders, and their main purpose is just to make sure that the cosmos remains in order by sending down power to the heads of the government and their authoritative figures. And Zadkiel, sometimes called Hashmal, is considered the chief of this order.
Interesting.
Yeah. Next is the virtues, and they are shaped like sparks of light and are in charge of maintaining the natural world, inspiring living things in areas such as science, so thanks virtues. They also take orders from the angels above, of course, and convert them into miracles for those that are considered deserving. And
I see.
yes, because the virtues. So
right.
It all makes sense. But when they make themselves known to us in their earthly forms, they are considered as musicians, artists, healers, and scientists who work with the power of love as well as physics. So they're combining that, which is really cute. And the two angels at the ascension of Jesus are believed to have been virtues. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
The final one in this
God.
What? Are you okay? What?
Fine. My desk is littered with cats right now, and I like Jinx, I guess, relaxed on the keyboard, and now the screen is gone. Oh, there it is.
Perfect.
Okay, we're good. Good.
It is their podcast after all.
It just disappeared, and it was just my desktop, and I'm just like, where did it go?
Perfect. And you didn't go anywhere either. You were still on too.
That's great. I love that for me. Okay.
If your cats are ready, I can move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think they can. They're good.
Okay,
Salem is fully asleep.
Oh no! It's time for a nap. Okay, so the last one in this category are the powers, and in their celestial forms, powers appear like brightly colored, hazy fumes and are border patrol, essentially, between heaven and earth. They are the angels of... I know, right? This is why they're the angels of birth and death, because in both scenarios, you are kind of on that cusp of alive
transition
and heavenly.
They're kind of like purgatory angels.
Oh, yeah,
sort of,
absolutely.
In a weird way.
Yes. Some believe that
if you
also
believe in that.
Right. All of this is also to say, if you believe. I guess we should have prefaced that. Some people believe that they also preside over demons who wish to overthrow the world, while others, particularly St. Paul, thought the powers themselves were the evil ones. But regardless, the powers are considered a group of experts serving as advisors in terms of religion, theology, and ideology. So I could see that, The final grouping starts with the principalities. The third group of angels is considered one ordinary humans will have the most interaction with, because again, these are also tiered. So this is considered, quote, the bottom tier of sorts. And in this first group, with the principalities, these are angelic beings shaped as rays of light, and just like a principal in school, these will also oversee everything going on, but don't call on them to help you. Archangels respond best when dealing with... Oh, sorry, I skipped over. The principalities are the ones that are kind of guiding the entire world, nations, cities, etc., which is... kind of where the religion and politics comes in, and they also manage earthly duties of the angels below them, which is the archangels, which is the next category, and they just kind of rule over as more of a justice figure under the principalities. So these are along the lines of guardians of all things physical. They are most commonly mentioned because of Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, who are considered the Bible's versions of archangels.
And also the Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely. And they're missing
Michelangelo.
Yeah.
No. Yes,
They have
no,
Michael, Raphael, and I don't remember all of them.
Leonardo.
DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm. Similar but different.
But archangels engage in spiritual warfare by fighting against demons or bringing messages from God. And these are all in separate categories as well. And there are 7. The warrior, who's considered Michael. The healer, Raphael. The messenger is Gabriel. Angel of beauty, Jophiel. Angel of nature and animals is Ariel, which is very cute. Yeah. Angel of relationships is Shamiel, and the angel of death is Azrael. And not to bring in my nerd value in here, however, if you've played Diablo before, Azrael is in the game. So anyway, and that's just my little tidbit. The final.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're welcome. The final group in the final grouping is, of course, what we might just consider regular old angels. They are also guardians of people and all things physical, and they are sent as well as messengers for humanity. And this is where the personal guardian angels come in. It's not the archangels. You shouldn't just be calling Michael, help. It should just be your guardian angel, and they protect and warn humans and act as the warriors for those on behalf of God.
Nice.
I would like to mention 2 that aren't in this lineup. I call them honorable mentions, because they're not advertised in this lineup, but I do think that they're worth talking about. The living creatures is one of them, and they are mentioned in Revelation 4, and it is possible that these are another class of cherubim, which is why it's just kind of an honorable mention. It's kind of like a spin-off story of the cherubim. But their appearance is different than what they are in a regular cherubim description, and they seem to function more as heavenly worship leaders that are constantly also surrounding the throne of God with the 24 elders. But that's like a whole nother... And if you believe that the seraphim are the only ones chanting holy, holy around God, then you probably don't believe that, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of that situation.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway. And then, of course, we have fallen angels, which we've briefly talked about. But it's probably best not to call them a separate class, rather to say that there are good angels and fallen angels in terms of a classification. But the Bible does speak, of course, of the fall of Satan and a hell reserved for the, quote, devil and his angels. And some have tied together pieces from Isaiah 14, Revelation 9, and Revelation 12 to teach that when Satan rebelled, a third of the angels also went with him. However, the scripture is not entirely clear on that point. And what we can say is that some of the angels originally created good are now considered part of this demonic realm.
Oh, good.
Allegedly.
Wonderful.
Yeah, not sure.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I haven't asked him personally,
right?
So I couldn't
This is secondhand information,
yes,
for sure.
For sure. And that is also all to say if you believe in any of this in the first place. So it's all with a grain of salt. I thought it was at least interesting to talk about since we are in a religious scene in the moment for December.
Right. Yeah.
So I hope that you enjoyed this. I had a really good time researching it. I think angels are cool. It's fun to experiment. They're everywhere in terms of our culture, but
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you top your tree with an angel or a star? And I know you don't decorate typically because you're cats, but if you had to,
we had a star previously.
A star. Yeah, that's what we did too.
But my grandma did top it with an angel.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She did indeed.
Very
if
nice.
I remember correctly, she had a red dress.
Oh, nice.
And like blonde hair or something, but maybe I'm messing that up. I think I remember that as one of our Christmas toppers.
Cool.
What about you? Are you do a star?
Yeah, my family was a star family, and then we are currently a star family. I just ordered a cute one from Pottery Barn because it was on sale.
Oh, you should have told me. I have one we're not even using. I could have shipped to you. It's literally so pretty.
Okay.
And the year that we bought it, and I showed my mom, of course, she was like, oh my gosh, look. And she had the same one.
Oh my God.
I was like, great minds, Mom. Great minds.
Love that for you guys.
So if she ever needs a replacement, I've got it.
Got it. Yeah.
But that's all I have today.
Well, then
yeah.
we shall wrap it up like a good Christmas present. And feel free to send us an email with any questions, comments, concerns, episode topic suggestions, or just, say hey at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram or TikTok at mediocrecontentpodcast, or you can catch up with us every other Thursday on Twitch. For a very entertaining stream, and you can talk to us live about whatever you want. At 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST, or 11 p.m. BST. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Please.
We appreciate it. We will also take 4 stars in the event that you're offering.
But I will be a little sad about it.
We will be negotiating 3. I just want you to know that. Also, if you have comments, put those down there too. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
Or read them, I guess, technically. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Have a lovely time this week, and happy Christmas season, or whatever season you celebrate.
Indeed. We'll see you next week,
All
guys.
right. Cheers.